Hey, I'm Ella from Spline, and the other day I was playing around with particles and created this interactive sand where wherever my cursor is, the sand is spilling from my cursor. And a cool thing about this scene is it's optimized for the web, so I got this idea to pop it into a landing page for a fun interactive experience. And I'd love to show you how I did it. But first, what are particles? The particle system in Spline allows you to easily create particles that mimic the physical properties of real-world particles, and you can use them to create various effects like fire, smoke, rain, and other dynamic effects. They can interact with forces like gravity or noise and have collisions with other objects. Alright, let's get into it. If you're new to Spline, it's linked below and it's free to sign up, so feel free to open a new file so we can design together. Now let's add the sphere that we saw in the scene. The reason I have this sphere is it just adds some interest to the scene and it gives the sand particles something to collide with instead of just having them fall in the space. So to add a sphere, let's delete the default rectangle first. And now I'm going to add a sphere from the top toolbar here. Okay, great. So to make sure that this is in the center of my composition, I'm going to go to the left bar, right-click on the sphere and select Reset Position. So if we look over here at Position, all of the values are set to 0. Next, I'm going to change the size of our sphere to 225 across the board. And let's apply the materials. Now let's start with the color. I'm going to quickly change this to a darker color like an off black or a really dark gray. And then I'm going to go to lighting and change this to 100% so it's a little more intense and we can see it reflect off that darker color more. An important thing to note is particles will go through 3D objects, they will not collide with them. So what we need to do is add a collider. And you can do that here in the top drop-down menu by selecting Particle Force. So here with our particle force, we can see the force type is on collider. There's also attractor, which pulls the particles towards it, and there's vortex, which will cause your particles to act as if they were in a vortex like this. With collider selected, let's change the shape to sphere to match our sphere, and I'm going to change it to the exact same size of the sphere so we can line up this particle force perfectly with it. And now, once the sand is ready to go, it will collide with the spheres. So let's move on to the sand. Let's add a particle emitter from the top toolbar. So here we have our particle emitter. As you can see, it has these pink particles floating out of it. So we're going to adjust our particles. And one thing to note is if you want to deep dive on particles and learn more, check out our full particle tutorial linked below. I'm going to quickly adjust the background color here just so we can see the sand better. So let's start off by adjusting our particles with color A and color B. So for color A, I want this to be a lighter beige. And for color B, I want this to be more of a warm medium beige. For coloring, I'm going to change this to random. And then for size, you want to click on this little icon next to size, and it's going to open up the start and end values. So I'm going to have the start value at 10 and the end value at 1. This is really great. If you want to make something like smoke, for example, you can have your start value really small, say like 1 or 2, and have your end value very large, like say 15 or 20, to really get that idea of smoke that rises and expands. So you can play around with the size to achieve a lot of cool effects. Next, let's change the birth rate. So the birth rate just means how many particles are being made. So we want a lot of particle for sand because when we think of sand, we think of beaches, we think of dunes. There's usually a lot of sand. So I'm going to change this to 30,000. And then I'm going to change the lifetime to 4 seconds. You can play around with the lifetime, so if we turn this up to 10, we can see that it's staying for much longer, where if we have it at 4 seconds, it's starting to fade. And quickly, let's scroll down here and go to gravity. and change the gravity into the negative so we have our sand falling instead of floating up, so we get a better idea of what we're working with. So I'm going to change this to about -1.9. In addition to adjusting the gravity, we are going to select our collider, which is that particle force that we added earlier, to make sure that my sand collides with the sphere, just like this. Okay, so let's set the elasticity to 0.13. And now I'm going to scroll back up and go to alpha fade and size fade. So this is just how the particles come in and out of the scene. I don't want the particles to ease in or ease out or anything like that. I just want it to be a constant stream of sand. So I'm going to set both of these fades to constant. And also I'm going to turn down the speed a little bit to 7. Now in the particle emitter panel, you can change the shape of your particle emitter, which is pretty cool. You can even set it to a custom object. This just means it's going to mimic the shape of an object. So that could be text, that could be any kind of object, and you can make some pretty cool effects with this. Now I used sphere for this example. I'm going to change the size to 10 so it matches the size of my cursor more. Now for particle noise, I'm going to have the type on FBM, but I really encourage you to explore the different types here. Particle noise affects the movement of our particles, so you can achieve some different effects with this. And I'm going to set the variation to 6.4. Now particle randomness will also affect the movement of our particles, making the movements more random. So if you're making something like leaves blowing in the wind, or if you're making something like sparks that fly upward and they're not flying all in unison but randomly, this is where you want to use those settings. So I'm going to change the scale to 0.7 and the mass to 0.65, again just to add some more of that random movement to our sand. Finally, let's tweak the opacity of our particle colors and lower this quite a bit, about 10 and 20%. I want to make the sand appear a lot softer and lighter. There, that looks way better. Okay, perfect. So our sand is done. And quickly, let's add some interactivity. As you saw in the example, wherever our cursor was, the sand was being produced. As if it was like falling out of our cursor, and this is really easy to do. All we have to do is add the follow event. The follow event is preset to follow our cursor, but you can actually change that to follow an object or something else in the scene. You can also add damping to create a slower following effect. I'm going to keep the damping really low because I like having the sand seem like it's coming out of the cursor. So now that we're ready, we can move into the exciting step of exporting. So open up the export panel and we're going to go over to the play settings first. Here you can control a lot of different properties of your scene in play mode and when you export your scene. So first I'm going to hide my background because I'm going to be using the background of my website and I don't want my background color to show up in export. And since this has the interactivity of that sand that falls out of our cursor and collides with the sphere, I am going to turn off orbit, pan, and zoom so the focus is really just on the sand and the sphere. Now I'm going to click on viewer and copy the embed. All right, now for the website. So I used this free template from Framer, so if you want to follow along, it's linked below. Now in Framer, I'm going to add a 3D embed. So I'm going to go here and you can just type in embed and it will appear, and you can drag and drop it into your canvas and then just adjust its size to your liking and make sure to check across your tablet and mobile sizes that it's also the size to your liking. So now with our embed selected, I'm going to click on HTML and paste our copied code from Spline there, and our Spline scene appears. How cool is that? So now in preview mode, we can check this out, moving our sand around, looks pretty good, but I think our sphere could be a little bigger in the frame. So what we want to do to adjust this is just go back into Spline and we're just going to zoom in a little bit. It's important to note here, however your design appears in the Spline viewport is how it's going to show up on your site.
Now all we have to do is hit update viewer and it's automatically going to be updated on our Framer website.
Now back in Framer, let's hit refresh and the updates have been made. Now we have this cool site with a lightweight interactive sand experience, and I think this is such a cool effect. Thanks a lot for joining me in this design. Particles might seem a tad tricky, but trust me, they're a lot of fun to explore, and you can create some pretty fun interactive moments for your websites or your iOS apps and more. If you're looking for some inspiration, check out our Spline community and please feel free to share your designs there too. And drop a line in the comments about what tutorials you're keen on seeing next, and don't forget to stick around for more.